here in my car, and I just got out of the movie theater after watching the movie The Ritual, starring Daniel Stevens and Al Pacino. This is the latest sort of demonic possession exorcist movie that's out, and if I'm being completely honest, there's nothing that freaks me out more than a really good demonic possession, exorcism, religious horror sort of movie, when it's done right, obviously. And I'll say this movie had a lot of promise for the first maybe 45, maybe first 30 minutes or so, because it really jumps in there and gets right to the shit. It's very bare bones. At least the first half is pretty bare bones. It's very fast paced. It doesn't waste any time. There's no fat, you know, they get right to the exorcism stuff. It starts getting creepy. There's not an entirely large amount of setup, which I appreciated. It gets right to the creepy shit until it doesn't, because they start trying to throw some shit in here with Al Pacino spouting out exposition for extended monologue scenes. I just didn't really understand what they were trying to do or how they were trying to connect certain things together. It didn't really add anything for me to the story. I didn't really get what the point of it was, to be honest. Daniel Stevens is kind of like on the fence about it all because things start escalating slowly as they do in exorcist movies. So he's freaking out and he's like, man, I don't know if we should do this. We probably need to get this chick some mental health care, medical attention or whatever. But then Al Pacino, of course, is like, no, man, that's just the devil messing with you. Okay, he didn't talk like that. And Al Pacino was honestly the best part of this movie. He's a really good actor in here. Dan Stevens is overacting his ass off. He's very overly dramatic, but I guess it kind of fits his character. But anyway, Al Pacino's like, no, man, this is the devil messing with us. But then, like, the head nun lady is over here like, we need to put a stop to this. But then Dan Stevens is like, no, we can't. And then she's like, oh, you're not man enough to handle this place. You shouldn't be our priest. And then he's just like, I think you're right. And then you've got this other priest guy, or father, whatever they call it, who's also going up to Dan Stevens and being like, dude, stop freaking out. You need to chill, which is kind of the opposite of what the Mother Teresa lady, or not Mother Teresa, the head nun lady was saying. I don't know. It's like Dan Stevens' character couldn't make up his mind as to what he wanted. And then, not to spoil too much, but in the third act, they build up to this moment where Dan Stevens' character has to like grow some balls and man up and take charge of the situation. And I felt like that was very, very poorly done, very anticlimactic. I'm never going to watch this movie again. It was okay for the first part of it, like I said. Thank you guys for watching this video, though, and I'll see you in the next one.